Hey y'all, Krista here from Saving Grace Homestead. I just wanted to pop on real quick because I was looking at a question that was posted. I think it was in a goat group that I'm on, or that I'm part of. And the question was posed, how do people feel about the antibiotics? And I think some other things might be included, but basically they're not going to be available over the counter anymore for livestock. And people are freaking out about this. And so somebody posed the question, what are your thoughts about this? How do you feel about it? And I was reading through the comments, and so many people are like, oh, this is, the government taking control and trying to keep us from being self-sustaining. They don't want us to be self-sustainable. And I wasn't sure if I should laugh or just smack my head against the wall. Sweetheart, honey bunches. If you are using a conversation about, if you're getting upset about over-the-counter medications being taken away and the term self-sustaining or self-sustainability in that same conversation, somebody has lied to you about what self-sustainability means. And I'm not trying to be mean to anybody, because I get it. We, as a society, have been conditioned over the last several decades to be very dependent upon the pharmaceutical industry, and that has become the new norm, including for farmers and such, is to use sometimes a regular schedule of pharmaceuticals and chemicals and whatnot on their animals. And so I understand that is currently the conventional wisdom. However, understand that before the pharmaceutical industry took over, conventional wisdom was how to use what you have, how to use what you can grow, what you find in nature around you to treat and care for your animals. So historically, the idea of being dependent on the pharmaceutical industry and being able to just freely purchase pharmaceuticals on a routine basis over the counter is relatively new, okay? And let's just talk about what self-sustainability means. If you are self-sustaining, that means you are not dependent on the government. You are not dependent upon a billion-dollar pharmaceutical industry. You are not dependent upon whatever you can find on a store shelf. Okay, that's what self-sustaining means. So those who are self-sustaining, those who are really striving for self-sustainability, they're probably not the ones buying that stuff to begin with. So, and again, I'm not trying to make y'all feel bad, because I understand you only know what you've been taught. And it takes a lot of effort to relearn what people long ago knew and understood. And it takes a lot of effort to learn how to do something that goes against the grain of what the majority of people are currently doing and have been taught to do over the last several decades. So I understand that takes effort, it takes time, it takes a lot of intentionality. So I see this, if you want my thoughts on this whole taking all the antibiotics and whatnot off the shelf, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. And that might make some of y'all mad at me, and that's okay. It doesn't bother me. But I'm not mad about it, because I think that a huge silver lining here is I think that it's actually going to make some of y'all start actually being more self-sustainable. I think that it's going to push people to actually learn how to do these things without the pharmaceutical industry. It can be done. There are many of us that are out there doing it, okay? So it can be done, and I'm really hopeful that a whole bunch of you are going to learn a whole new skill set that somebody should have taught you already and didn't. And I'm sorry that they didn't. I'm sorry you've been given the advice that you need to be dependent on the pharmaceutical industry. And yes, I know some of y'all are going to come at me, well, I had this one time. Listen, I know there are those occasions where the pharmaceuticals are needed, but let me tell you, that should be extremely rare, to the point that it shouldn't be needed as a regularly stocked item on your local farm store shelf. So, if you are one of those people that's stressing out, or if you're like, hey, I've really been wanting to learn how to do things more naturally, more holistically, and you want to know kind of what we keep stocked, leave me a comment. Let me know your questions down below. What are your concerns? What are you most concerned about? And if you want me to do a video to let you know or to show you kind of what we use and how we use it and some situations where I've used it in the past, go ahead and shoot me a comment. And if y'all want to know, I'm happy to do a video. I'm happy to help you out and try to answer your questions based on what we do and what we've experienced. But you don't need them, guys. You don't need them. And the extremely rare case in which you do need them, that's probably the time to call the vet anyway. So, and I know a lot of vets are saying, look, hey, if we've made eye contact, if I know who you are, if I've seen your animal, I don't mind calling that stuff in for you. You don't have to wait for me to come do a visit or bring your animal in or whatever. And not everybody has that available to them, I understand. So again, use this as a learning opportunity. Use this as your motivation to learn the things that are going to help you be actually more self-sustaining. The government's doing you a favor on this one. You just haven't realized it yet. So anyway, that's my 2 cents, my encouragement to you for today, and my thoughts on this whole antibiotic removal controversy. So anyway, I'll see you in the next one, and let me know your questions and thoughts below.